Alrighty, so I just wanted to go ahead and introduce myself again. My name is Amar. I'm going to be your host for Moving Commas podcast. For today's episode, I actually just wanted to really just go off the spring with a concept that isn't so dense in nature, that covers like marketing, sales, and fulfillment, and other concepts of business that can get very intricate. I want to take some time out to actually talk to my viewers, whether it's just a couple of viewers now or maybe just one person, maybe even be my mom. But with that being said, of course, I just really wanted to break in the ice as to who I am and what we can really be covering on this podcast. Overall, the topic is really very sensitive and something that I kind of have a challenge with dealing with. Sometimes on a daily basis, or even in sometimes where I'm facing adversity or challenges with certain aspects of my business, and that's how to continue to show up for yourself. There's a lot that goes into business. A lot of people start business because they want to prove to themselves, or maybe their parents, or maybe family members, or generally society, or maybe even friends in general about where they could, what their capacity or their reach could be, and how successful they can become. One thing you generally understand is that whatever audience you've actually created or whatever motivates you to actually get that thing done or actually do the work, again, it has a certain period of time where it starts to fizzle out. And what I mean by that is that you have to pick and choose those specific things that motivate you, and understand if it's a healthy variable to actually compare to in order to fuel your motivation. And again, I'm not one to say that I've had times where I've obviously used different scenarios and concepts to create more urgency and more aggression towards getting my tasks done and proving people wrong. But at a certain point, you realize that the only person that really is actually looking at anything that's going on in your business is you. You do it for yourself. And if you start off with your journey actually just making it about yourself as opposed to anything else, you'll have much more of a healthy scope of understanding how to leverage that energy towards the right things. So, diving a little bit more deeper into this topic, what does it actually mean, to show up for yourself, and how do you actually do that? Whether you're simply just starting off in your business, or you're possibly maybe even like, let's say 5 years deep into your craft, exiting multiple businesses, or just getting around to like scaling your first, brick and mortar business. Making sure that you're able to objectively break down tasks that are very important to you and are probably the most important things to show up for in your business, whether it's simply just managing your sales department for instance, or let's say making some extra content that's going to add more layers of content towards your social media pages. Maybe you have to go ahead and possibly audit a P&L done by a new sales manager. Showing up just means doing the high level tasks in your business that need to be attended to. And these variables and these type of tasks can constantly change, right? Maybe you've just had a kid. Maybe you actually just got married. Like, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to figure out a way to make sure that those things on a daily basis are constantly being attended to. That goes from understanding, who is the at the top of your hierarchy in your business, which is probably let's say, a chief operating officer, to maybe someone that's just maybe even a virtual assistant, right? That just got hired on. Your presence and your attention to detail for the small things in just everything you do is going to make up for the big things that are actually going to create create that high compound effect in your life and in business, because they're a direct measurement of, everything you do in a daily basis. So, just rounding up to this thought, right? And just making sure that, I'm putting out like, valuable content. I really want to give a lot of, my new listeners that are just either starting off in their journey and or possibly just, a couple of years into their journey, to make sure that in order to stay satisfied and to stay happy and confident in a place of clarity in your business, you need to stay productive and you cannot ignore the small details. Because once you start to get complacent and or comfortable, that is when things blow up in your sleep. And what I mean by that is I have very, very direct experiences relating to this, because I have had a lot of peaks and valleys in my business. We've had, months where we've generated close to, hundreds of thousands of dollars, a month. And we've had some months where literally, for 2 weeks, we don't see a single dollar processed through our merchant. And understanding why things happen and what dictates those outcomes is your ability to show up consistently every day. So again, whether you are starting off in your business and the first task to do is make that YouTube account or make that Twitter or make that TikTok page or whatever it is, or let's call it X now, since that's what it's been transitioned to. The concept is to, wherever you are within your career, take it seriously, take it personal, because at the end of the day, when you are going to be, let's say you're having a discussion with the Grim Reaper, and he's going to give you an audit report of where you fell short on a daily basis, and he were to give you a report card of where you could have been if had you just done that extra 1% or 2% every day and you simply got out of your head, that would be something that I want to review and be like, I without a doubt made sure that I give 100% every day. So as long as you show up and you're productive and you're doing it for yourself before anything else, that is how you're going to create longevity in business. So again, I just wanted to conclude this today with this very simple framework. I think it impacts me on different levels within my career always, because I always have this different point of realization. But I wanted to share this with my fellow entrepreneurs, and I really wanted to go ahead and make sure I'm drawing value, not from a analytical point of view, but also a psychological point of view, where we can actually, create these inferences and make relations to our daily tasks and the way we view business and life. So I wanted to conclude today's podcast with this. Thank you for listening. And again, please, if you find any value in anything that I've said and you're here right now, I would highly recommend and really appreciate if you can share this podcast on your feed, and tag us at Moving Commas Podcast or my personal Instagram, Amar23. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next pod.